What's up, everybody? Noah from Stage 3 Motorsports, and I'm here with Scott from Icon today, and we're going to be taking a look at some upper control arms and basically talking about the construction and the options that you guys have. So we won't waste any time. Let's get right into it, and we'll start by talking about this tubular arm we've got here on the bench. Basically, what does this do for the vehicle, and how's this thing built? What are we looking at?
Basically, the main purpose of an upper control arm across all the applications is for to solve alignment issues that develop as we add lift height.
Okay.
Most of the stock geometry isn't set up for a lifted vehicle properly, so this corrects those issues and just makes the truck drive way better. On certain platforms like the Ranger and a few others, we have extra travel that's available by swapping out for the stock one for a higher angle ball joint, such as our Delta joint here. But we offer two different versions. Tube steel, pretty straightforward in what it is. You know, everyone's familiar with what that looks like. They do their geometry correction in their design, but it is otherwise a fixed arm. So you still do all of your adjustment for the alignment off the factory adjustment points on the lower control arm, usually, depending on the application.
Sure.
It's all DOM tubing, fabricated in-house, powder coated with a dual stage powder coat, so that it's really gonna be corrosion resistant.
Yeah.
We use polyurethane bushings. It's actually a dual stage bushing here as well, where we have a softer outer for that vibration isolation.
Yeah, you can see the split in there even too when you're looking at it.
Basically, we use a Delrin load ring here, which is a very hard polymer that will help basically control that deflection and keep it manageable while still allowing for that isolation of the chatter for the most part.
Awesome.
The Delta joint is really going to be what sets this guy apart from most of our competitors and their tube arms. Everyone's kind of familiar with uniballs and that sort of thing, and
That's the standard.
Exactly, and we still offer them for the newer applications like the Ranger. We're not offering them in the uniball. We're sticking exclusively with Delta joint just because they've been so good for us. But basically, they're meant to kind of replace them all together, and we're kind of heading that way. So they really serve the same purpose without all the issues that sometimes come with uniballs.
So as far as the Delta joint is concerned, what does that design look like, and what kind of advantages does that give over just a regular ball joint?
It's a high angle ball joint. It's actually the same angularity that the uniball will give you. And that's the reason why we use uniballs in the first place, is because of that high angle and the strength that you get out of it.
Sure.
Kind of their weak point is the fact that they're not sealed to the elements, and that tends to cause a more rapid wear rate than most people are traditionally used to from a ball joint.
Sure.
It's originally an industrial application that the off-road industry kind of grabbed onto because of their capabilities, and that maintenance it just comes with the territory.
Sure.
This guy was designed to fill that gap and kind of bridge it to make it more of a ball joint longevity with all the performance. So most people are used to ball joints with the boots and everything on the bottom. Basically what we're doing here, the angle is so extreme that any boot would be destroyed or pinched between the taper, because at full droop of the suspension, typically speaking, this taper is maxed out. There's
that's pinned right there.
Exactly. It's right before it binds, and we're trying to extract as much travel out as we can. So rather than using a boot, we use a wiper seal, much like a shock or a shock shaft, to keep debris out of the ball joint while still allowing it to be greasable. So you can grease it from the top here through our Zerk fittings.
Yeah, I noticed a little fitting right there.
And it comes actually with a couple different styles. This is the lower profile, so you can run dust covers like our billet arm here, and we also offer them as an option for the tube arms. Or if you don't want to deal with that, it's got the regular Zerk that everyone's used to. You can put it in, so you don't need the special adapter for this.
Sure, simple maintenance there for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, oil change intervals, grease it 5,000 miles or so. More often, if you see really heavy use or dirty conditions, it'll tend to benefit from that. But longevity-wise, significantly higher. We're so confident, in fact, that we warranty them for 5 years, as long as it's part of one of our suspension systems, basically, so we know that the shock length and everything is appropriate for the application, and we're not binding anything up, which obviously will take its toll over time. But comparatively speaking, a uniball traditionally has no warranty because they are such a high wear item. When they're worn out,
it's just anticipated that it's getting replaced.
Exactly, yeah. And I usually tell people, for the most part, you can expect to change the uniball out almost certainly within a 5-year period. So this is automatically going to just be that much better for you.
Yeah, one less thing to worry about for sure.
Exactly. And they're also known to make all kinds of noise from like squeaks and pops and stuff like that. And the lubrication provided by the grease basically eliminates that, so it's silent in its operation as well.
So that same technology for the Delta joint carries over to this billet arm you have here as well, but there's also obviously a bit more happening with this one than there is with the tubular arm. So can you walk me through some of the details there?
Sure. Everyone always thinks that the billet arm is for, cosmetics or for weight, and that's definitely part of it, but it's all about adjustment in this case. And we do things a little differently than most adjustable arms. We use a double adjuster setup using these parts right here. Basically allows it to be adjusted while it's installed on the truck, which is kind of unique. Most of the time you have to take it off, adjust it, reinstall it. Kind of labor intensive.
Yeah.
Not awesome from a setup standpoint. So this, you basically loosen these pinch bolts and turn this collar and it will extend or retract the length as required. And you can do it on the truck, which is, I mean, again, I can't stress that enough in terms of the user friendliness of that.
Sure, yeah, time savings and everything is excellent when you have that ability.
Exactly.
And that's going to help adjust camber and caster kind of with the vehicle?
Correct, camber and caster, which in addition to the factory adjustment points on the truck really allow you to dial it in very specifically, which is handy for a whole lot of different reasons. Anything from tire rub from a certain point, you know, say if it's rubbing on the back of the fender, you can physically shove the tire farther forward in the wheel well while maintaining proper alignment specs, which normally if you did with this, it gives you some degree of adjustment with that same thought process in mind, but you're more limited.
Yeah, of course.
So it's more just that extra features and the performance that's gonna give you. And we also use these Heim joints here. It's a hard mount instead of the relatively, you know, soft mount here.
Yeah.
You'll notice big handling differences from that. There's zero deflection from it, like you'll get a little bit from the bushings.
Yeah, it keeps everything a little bit more tight.
Exactly.
For sure. Now you said with that, obviously, this is a bit more aggressive, so somebody that's running the polyurethane one may like that a little bit more if they want something that's a bit more tame on the road and isn't as loud or as chattery.
Exactly. Yeah, you can feel a little bit of difference. Personally, I've never thought it's a problem. You know, if you have a very specific, you know, way you want it to ride and looking for it as compliant to the ride as possible, this will generally get you there. There's a little bit more maintenance involved with these guys. You got to grease them too. Similar interval as the Delta joint, so it's really not a big deal.
Nothing outrageous,
yeah. Just one more thing to hit, you know, when you're on there greasing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it all tight.
Exactly.
So one other thing I noticed on both of these arms is that there are some kind of drilled out areas and mounting points on the tops and the bottoms of these. What is that for?
That's basically so you can reuse all the factory bracketry for brake line wires and stuff like that. With today's modern suspensions, there's a lot more electronics that's being incorporated into this stuff, so there's more of that you see. And so we don't want to use zip ties or anything like that, so we want to make sure that all that will go back on and look as you know, clean as it does when it's all OE.
Yeah, looks like it's meant to be there.
Exactly. And like everything else is fully serviceable, so as time goes on and stuff, you know, wears out, you know, hopefully years down the line, but we have all the parts available. The arms will be good to use over and over and over again. Nice. As needed.
Perfect. Well, Scott, thank you for coming in and walking us through the upper control arm options, especially the Delta joint stuff. I know that clears up some of the mystery for a lot of us that were wondering, like, okay, why is this different from just ball joints or uniballs? So that's great information to have. And for those of you that are watching, we do have some other videos with Scott here from Icon where we've talked through CDC tuning, what the difference between the regular shocks, that stuff, Ranger kits, Raptor kits, a lot of good information out there. So make sure you check out all those videos to really get the full information download on Icon. And if you're interested in picking up a set of these arms for your vehicle, we'll have links down in the description that you can click through to check those out. So as always, thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.